TV News Time tonight. Former APC National Chairman hails Bayero University outgoing Vice Chancellor on 5 years of excellent service. PENCOM targets informal sector with redesigned pension plan. On the foreign scene, United Kingdom recognizes Palestinian state. And in sports, Botswana win first gold in 4x400 meters relay at Tokyo 2025. Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I'm Uyi Agmofobi, reminding our viewers that we are on Global DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. As always, let's begin tonight by telling you former National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress APC, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, has congratulated the immediate past Vice Chancellor of the Bayero University, Kano, Professor Adamu Abbas, having successfully served the university for 5 years. During a grand academic salute in honor of Abbas, academicians acknowledged the transformative leadership of the former VC within the last 5 years. Global TV correspondent Idris Jibrin was there and our reports.
Organized by the former First Lady of Kano State, Professor Hafsat Ganduje, the event is a celebration of academic excellence, transformative leadership and legacies of the immediate past Vice Chancellor of the Bayero University, Kano. According to the former chairman, Professor Sagir's visionary leadership and transformative achievement have brought growth and development to Bayero University. The aim of the program was also to further recognize the contributions of some notable Nigerians, including the Minister of State for Education, the incoming and the outgoing Vice Chancellors of the university for their contributions to the development of education sector in Nigeria.
University. And this award at the same time is laying a solid foundation for your administration. You inherited a successful leadership, and from what we know, from what we see, from what we anticipate, is another successful university leadership.
For the convener of the Grand Salute, Professor Hafsat Ganduje, the success of Professor Abbas is a collective victory for Bayero University and Nigeria's education sector in general.
You can see how everything is coupling together. So I have been directed and I have been requested on behalf of the Bayero University.
While commending the convener, the outgoing VC, Professor Adamu Abbas, acknowledged the immense contribution of Abdullahi Ganduje and Professor Hafsat for the development of the university over the years. Highlight of the event include presentation of awards to some promoted professors of the Bayero University, Kano, as well as recognition of the incoming Vice Chancellor, Professor Haruna Musa. From Kano, Idris Jibrin, reporting for Global Television News.
Thank you, Idris. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekere Ekun, will on September 29 swearing 57 new senior advocates of Nigeria as part of the program marking the 2025-2026 legal year of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's Director of Information, Festus Akonde, said in Abuja that the ceremony will hold at the main courtroom of the Apex Court and will also feature a state-of-the-art judiciary address by the CJN reviewing the country's performance in the past year. Other key stakeholders, including the Attorney General of the Federation, the Nigerian Bar Association President, and the Chairman of the body of senior advocates, are expected to address the session. Vice President Kashim Shettima has left Abuja for New York to represent President Bola Tinubu at the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly, which begins on Monday, September 22 and runs until Sunday, September 28. The announcement was made in a statement by Stanley Nkocha, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications in the Office of the Vice President, who said Shettima would stand in for the President at the week-long event. According to Nkwocha, the Vice President will deliver Nigeria's national statement during the high-level general debates of the Assembly and take part in several sideline engagements. Imo State Police Command says it is winning the battle against crime. At a press briefing in Owerri, Commissioner of Police Aboki Danjuma announced the arrest of more than 700 suspects in just 2 months, alongside the rescue of kidnapped victims and recovery of weapons. Our correspondent Amarachi Ibe has details.
According to Commissioner of Police Aboki Danjuma, the suspects were linked to crimes ranging from armed robbery and cultism to terrorism associated with IPOB and ESN, murder and other violence offenses. He said 9 kidnapped victims and 7 stolen children were rescued, while firearms, ammunition, explosives, stolen motorcycles, laptops, charms and hard drugs were recovered.
During the period under review, the command arrested a total number of 957 criminal suspects for the offenses ranging from kidnapping, armed robbery, cultism, to terrorism linked to IPOB and ESN, child trafficking, murder, stealing.
The CP highlighted the dismantling of IPOB and ESN terrorist camps in Okigwe, Mbitolu and Njaba local government areas. He explained that 16 suspects, including sub-commanders, were captured in Uguta after a fierce gun battle. A notorious kingpin was also arrested in Mbitolu, while 4 other suspected cultists were rounded up in Isialambano.
In synergy with other security agencies, the command also dislodged IPOB, ESN camps, kidnapping, dens in Okigwe, Mbitoli, Owerri West, Njaba local governments, and other areas in the state, striking decisive blow to the capacity for further attacks. On 16th of September, the executive governor of Imo State, in which he sent one of his representatives here to witness this event. His Excellency, Distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma, for his consistent support in welfare and logistics, which has greatly boosted our operational capacity. I also thank the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, PhD, whose guidance has been instrumental to our successes.
The commissioner assured residents that security agencies will sustain the momentum until peace and safety are fully restored across the state. From Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
Thank you, Amarachi. In a world of constant scrolling, streaming, and social media buzz, the question of whether Nigerians are still reading remains on the table. While some believe the reading culture is fading, others argue it is only evolving into new forms. Global Television's Ubong Usoro has details.
Nigeria's literary tradition is celebrated worldwide, but concerns linger whether the younger generation is sustaining it. Critics point to shorter attention span and a shift away from the books, while many young Nigerians insist that reading is far from dead.
From my experience, and because I am still in school, from what I have seen, most of them still read. I don't think we have more first class or more students that read as much as they did, like I said, as they did back in the day.
For others, technology is reshaping the culture. E-books, audiobooks, and online platforms are creating fresh avenues for accessing knowledge and literature.
Some years past, I know people hardly read, more especially in terms of your phone. Everybody preferred like all this kind of video stuff and everything, but nowadays I would say that people are trying to imbibe in reading like the old times, because they are more into the books than what people can normally say and all those kind of stuff.
Educationists are balancing digital platforms with traditional reading as a key to reviving Nigeria's reading culture, ensuring that knowledge survives in an age of distractions. Ubong Usoro for Global Television.
Fire disasters remain a recurring tragedy across Nigeria, from crowded markets to office buildings and residential areas, leaving destruction and heartbreak in their wake. The question is, how can these outbreaks be prevented? In this special report, our correspondent Sadia Yakubu takes a look at what can be done to prevent these recurring incidents.
Over the years, fire incidents have become a common trend Nigerians are familiar with, often as a result of factors that could be prevented. Buildings and properties are reduced to ashes. According to experts, these incidents are as a result of poor electrical wiring, absence of fire extinguishers, and lack of emergency exits in crowded spaces, among others. Weak enforcement of building codes and poor access to firefighting facilities also contribute to these outbreaks.
A lot of the causes of the fire outbreak is actually negligence by people. Some people are very negligent and they leave things like their gases and different things out, and they're not very careful. And I think it can be prevented when people are more careful. Like, people should actually put precaution, and they should know that, like, when fire incidents happen, a lot of people lose their lives, lose their properties and things that they've worked hard for.
To curb these reoccurring tragedies, safety experts are calling for stricter building regulations, mandatory fire alarms and extinguishers in public spaces, and more fire stations equipped with modern technology. They also emphasize the need for awareness campaigns and regular community fire drills.
I think the fire service, provide like regular emergency drills for the people in the building or in an organization, and also we should have like the body go regularly to check, do like a regular check to make sure those fire systems actually working.
Beyond government action, communities too have a role to play, from volunteer fire brigades to market safety committees and early warning systems. Grassroots involvement could significantly reduce the fire risk.
While fire outbreaks may never be completely eliminated, their impact can be minimized with stronger equipment and a collective culture of safety. Nigerians can begin to break the cycle of recurring fire disaster. Sadia Yakubu, Global Television News.
Fire outbreaks, one of the several challenges Nigeria must confront head-on. Thank you so very much, Sadia. It was an evening of camaraderie, nostalgia, and celebration as the 47th regular course of the Nigerian Defense Academy held its reunion dinner and award presentation. The event, marked by elegance and military tradition, brought together officers, their families, and distinguished guests to reflect on 30 years of shared service, sacrifices, and achievements. Senator Odi was there for Global TV News.
The reunion dinner served not only as a social gathering but also as an opportunity to honor outstanding members and recognize the enduring bond formed since their cadet days. With cultural performances, tributes, and awards, the event highlighted the values of loyalty, discipline, and service that have guided the corps members through their military and post-service careers. The high point of the evening featured goodwill messages from the chairman organizing committee, Commodore Ahmed Madawaki, who underscores the group's significance of unity, sacrifice, and national service.
On this rare occasion where we have gathered not only to reminisce over the past, but to rekindle bonds of friendship and also to bring our families into our folds as we move forward on the march of life and progress.
The special guest of honor, Air Marshal Al-Amin Dagash, says it was a great honor for him to be the commandant of the 47th regular course of 1995 and also reuniting with them 3 decades later.
I have been fortunate and privileged to witness firsthand the transformation that occurred from your first year to your final year, and now as senior officers of the Nigerian Armed Forces. Your training at the Nigerian Defense Academy was not just about theory, but practical military leadership, friendship that will last a lifetime, and the personal discoveries that helped shape your character.
The group's president, Brigadier General Olakunle Oluseyi Nafiu, urged the group to keep the flame of unity alive and continue to be ambassadors of discipline, loyalty, and patriotism wherever they find themselves.
On behalf of 47 Regular Force, I wish to say a very big thank you to you for your selfless, dedicated, and committed service to the cause, and for making this evening and the activities we've had these past 3 days possible. Thank you.
The night ended with appointment of new executive members, laughter, awards, music, and dancing, but above all, the renewed bond of friendship and collective promise to keep the legacy of 47's regular course alive. For many, it was just not a reunion, but a reaffirmation of the value that bind them together as officers, friends, and brothers. Samuel Odi for Global Television News.
You're watching the live broadcast of News Prime with Uyi Akumofwebe. When the rest of the broadcast returns, United Kingdom recognizes Palestinian state. Details coming shortly, plus business. There's more stories for you on the other side of this break. Please do stay with us. Tonight, the second part of this news broadcast returns with business. The National Pension Commission has announced new measures to expand pension coverage in Nigeria's vast informal sector by leveraging super agents and financial technology platforms to simplify onboarding into the country's rebranded personal pension plan. The initiative was disclosed at the 2025 annual conference of the Nigerian Association of Insurance and Pension Editors, themed Strengthening Insurance and Pension Frameworks for a Better Economy. The Commission's Director General, Omolola Olomowara, represented by Head of Corporate Communications, Ibrahim Buwai, acknowledged that onboarding difficulties have been a major barrier to the scheme's growth. Nigeria's manufacturing sector has sunk deeper into deficits as imports of manufactured goods outpaced exports by more than 14 trillion naira in the first half of 2025. The latest data from the National Bureau of Statistics highlights the scale of the country's industrial crisis and reinforces calls for urgent government action to reverse the trend. Although exports rebounded in the second quarter, rising to 803.81 billion naira, up 173% from the first quarter and 67.17% year-on-year, industry players warned that the growth is insufficient to offset the flood of imports. In another development, the United States Census Bureau and the Bureau of Economic Analysis say Nigeria earned $2.1 billion from crude oil exports to the United States in the first 7 months of 2025. The agencies stated this in the fresh data it released. The figure underscores Nigeria's continued role as America's largest African crude supplier, even though shipments have weakened compared to last year. Let's take you to the foreign scene now. The United Kingdom has formally recognized the Palestinian state. Prime Minister Keir Starmer made the announcement in a video on social media. Canada became the first G7 nation to make the move, followed by Australia before the UK's declaration. While Starmer said the decision keeps alive the possibility of peace and vowed to keep fighting to bring home Israeli hostages, Israel's foreign ministry dismissed it as a reward for Hamas, as families of those still held in Gaza warned in an open letter that recognition could complicate efforts to secure their release. United States President Donald Trump has publicly urged his Justice Department to take action against his enemies, the latest in a series of moves that critics say have shattered the agency's traditional independence. In a social media post addressing Attorney General Pam Bondi, Trump fumed over the lack of legal action against California Senator Adam Schiff and New York Attorney General Letitia James, both Democrats. Schiff and James are among a handful of people who have been accused by a close Trump ally, Federal Housing Finance Agency Director Bill Pultz, of falsifying documents or mortgage applications. Pro-democracy protesters from Eswatini gathered outside the United States Embassy in Pretoria, voicing strong opposition to a reported deal between the United States government and Eswatini's monarchy that will see deported migrants returned to the Southern African Kingdom. Protesters accused King Mswati III, Africa's last absolute monarch, of striking the deal for personal gain, allegedly accepting up to $500 million in exchange with no benefits to ordinary Swazi citizens. The protest highlighted broader frustrations with Eswatini's economic inequalities and authoritarian rule. Demonstrators called for an end to the monarchy and demanded accountability. Now time to catch some excitement from the world of sports. Botswana has turned defending champions, the United States, to win the men's 4x400 meters relay gold at the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, clocking almost 3 hours to become the first African nation to claim the title. The Botswanian team delivered the historic win, with South Africa settling for bronze after running the same time as the Americans. With just a month to go, excitement is building ahead of the Champions Cup match between Barcelona legends and African legends in Abuja. Brazilian football star Ronaldinho has been confirmed as one of the first players to feature in the exhibition game, and other former Barcelona players scheduled for October 25 at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium. The squad will be led by Barcelona legends coach Alba Ferra, with additional names expected to be announced in the coming days. President of the Nigeria Cricket Federation, Niyi Agbata, has been re-elected for a second term in office. Agbata emerged unopposed during the Federation's annual general meeting and board elections, which ended in Abuja. The election was decided by 37 delegates, with 12 other board members also emerging to steer the affairs of the Federation for the next 4 years. Tonight, let's end the news here with a look at some of our big stories. Former National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress APC, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, has congratulated the immediate past Vice Chancellor of the Bayero University, Kano, Professor Adamu Abbas, having successfully served the university for 5 years. In business, the National Pension Commission has announced new measures to expand pension coverage in Nigeria's vast informal sector by leveraging super agents and financial technology platforms to simplify onboarding into the country's rebranded pension plan. On the following scene, the United Kingdom has formally recognized the Palestinian state. Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced in a video statement on social media. And finally, in sports tonight, we told you Botswana have stand defending champions, the United States, to win the men's 4x400 meters relay gold at the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, clocking almost 3 hours to become the first African nation to claim the title. And that's all we have for you tonight on News Prime. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV, channel 365, and Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen, including at Global TVNG. On behalf of my amazing team who have done a great job tonight in making this news broadcast possible, I'm Uyi Agbo Fwebe saying have a productive week ahead of you.